Holberg actually moved his right arm. I guess he didn't put up a strike, so count 3-0. Well, let's see if A-Rod has the hit privilege. I think I'd give him the hit privilege in hopes he tattoos one. 3 infielders on the left side now against A-Rod. And the 3-0 is low ball 4. So Alex is on, and the Yankees have 2 on and 2 out for Mark Teixeira.
And John had told you the only one who was hitting just about 500 off of Price was before his at-bat. Swisher was 10 for 22. Other than that, people don't hit him. Not a lot of people do, which is why he's such a terrific pitcher.
Teixeira was 0 for 2 yesterday. Lifetime, he's 9 for 34 with a couple of homers off Price. He's got Cano at second and A-Rod at first with 2 down. And Price now steps off. They haven't overshifted on Teixeira as a right-hand hitter, but the second baseman Keppinger has done everything but overshift. The pitch to Mark, a strike on the outside corner, because he has no more than 2 steps. First of all, he's on the edge of the outfield grass, or not grass here, it's turf, on the edge of the outfield turf. Anyway, he's 2 steps removed from second base on the first base side, so it's not a shift, but it's almost a shift. It'll be an 0-1 to Tex, and the pitch, strike at the knees, and the count 0-2.
Moving that fastball around. I guess you keep throwing that fastball, John, until somebody hits it. And why change it? You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. A lot of times, Price won't even throw any kind of breaking ball till mid-game or later. Let's go with fastballs.
It'll be an 0-2 to Teixeira. And the pitch, strike 3 outside corner. For the Yankees, no runs on a hit. They leave 2 at the end of a half. Yankees nothing. Tampa Bay coming to bat on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep.
When it comes to food, I'm all about.
See your local Tri-State Ford dealer or call 1-888-556-FORD.
Salino and Barnes remind you this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Salino and Barnes, named by U.S. News and World Reports as a first-tier best lawyers, best law firm for personal injury. Injured? Call Salino and Barnes at 800-621-2020. Offices in Manhattan and New York.
Well, right-hander Hiroki Kuroda makes his Yankee and American League debut, having pitched for the Dodgers. Susan told you 2 things. One, that Kuroda got pounded by lefty hitters last year. He had a good year now when he didn't pitch well against lefties. And that Joe Girardi said his split is a big pitch. Well, the splitter goes down and away from lefties from a right-hander, so that is a big pitch. Fastball, curve, slider, change. He's not a soft thrower. He'll throw 91, 92. Here is right-hand hitting Desmond Jennings to lead it off. A-Rod in at third. And the pitch is grounded weakly foul up the third baseline. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better. TV, internet, and home phone. Time Warner Cable. That pitch came in at 90 miles an hour. Jennings was 2 for 4 in yesterday's game. And that pitch a little low. And the count 1-1. Very unlike Price, Kuroda uses all of his pitches and depends really on changing speeds. And deals 1-1. And the pitch is grounded to short. Nunez boots it. Nunez, in his eagerness to make the play, he didn't have to be eager, but he was too eager, and he booted the ball before making the pick. So there's the leadoff man on, Desmond Jennings. And here is yesterday's hero, Carlos Pena.
And he didn't think the ball was going to stay that much on the ground. He didn't put his glove on the ground. He thought the ball was going to to bounce up to him. He didn't get the glove down.
Yeah, one thing, we love Nunez as an offensive player with his great speed, and he's going to hit for power, but he's got to play better defensively. I mean, there's no, we give him excuses, but he has to play better defensively. Here's the overshift on Pena. Nunez is playing a step or two on the first base side of second, and Kuroda throws over. So Kuroda gets an easy ground ball, and there's a base runner because of the boot by Nuni. Pena was 3 for 5 with a homer, 5 RBIs, 4 on the grand slam, and the 5th on the quote-unquote single. Actually hit the base of the left center field wall, and that drove in the winning run.
And you know what, John, and you're so right about Nunez, because obviously the second game of the season, Jeter is DHing. If he's going to play third and short, he's got to play better defensively. It's not enough that he can hit.
The pitch to Pena missed off the outside corner. And the count 1-0.
And he's going to be careful with Pena. I gave you his numbers against lefties last year. Kuroda, they hit .451 off him.
Well, one thing, you can't be too careful because you've got Longoria on deck, and then Matt Joyce, and then Ben Zobrist. So middle of the order is pretty good. It'll be a 1-0. And the fastball is inside. And the count 2-0. Fastball, okay, it was 91, and he wanted to keep it in. He did, but got it a little too in. So he is behind 2-0, and this is your basic hitter's pitch. Jennings leads off first. Teixeira holds him on. And a throw over, and back to the bag goes Jennings.
And it'd be wise to keep Jennings at first base. If you're going to get any kind of double play, the back end would get you the double play, but you have to watch Jennings. He's very fast. He's Crawford fast.
That'll be a 2-0 to Pena. Swinging, and he swings and misses as the pitch was away. That was a fastball, but that's where the splitter would end up, down and away from the left-hand hitter. And that's why Girardi told Susan that's the pitch he has to throw to the lefties, kind of the equalizer. If you missed yesterday's game, you really missed a beauty. It was played, first of all, here's the 2-1. Grounded foul at home plate. It was played with all the raw emotion of a playoff game. And both teams really went at each other, and a lot of players were used, and some things got lost. One of the things got lost. Tampa Bay had the tying run at third in the 8th inning. First and third, one out. Jose Molina was up. They put the suicide squeeze on. Sean Rodriguez raced home. What do you think Molina did? He didn't see the sign. He swung. Can you imagine? You're running in and the guy's swinging, a right-hand hitter. And it'll be a 2-2 to Pena. And Molina said, I just missed the sign. And then they put the same sign on. This one he got, and he bunted it, but he bunted it foul. So Robertson had first and third, no one out. And with the bunt foul strikeout, struck out 3 men in a row.
Robertson does walk that tightrope, doesn't he?
He sure does.
Some people get the adrenaline going when they put base runners on.
There'll be a 2-2 to Pena. And a throw to first, and Jennings gets back. Well, one thing about Robertson, which is why he is certainly a leading candidate to be Mo's successor.
Last night after the game was like they won. It was like after the game that they beat the Yankees last year, game number 162. They have a what do they call those things? The balls that go around in discos, the silver balls and they had disco music playing, and Carlos was dancing. You would have thought they won the World Series last night.
Well, let's see if Jennings goes, I would think. There he goes, the 3-2 cutout. I missed. The throw to second is way late. So it's a strikeout and a stolen base for Jennings. And the Rays have a runner at second and one out. And here is Evan Longoria.
Jennings is just too fast. A terrific throw by Martin. He really is a very good catcher, but there was no way, no matter where Nunez picked up that ball, that was not going to be an out by any stretch of the imagination.
No runner in scoring position. Longoria was 3 for 3 with a homer and an RBI. The game last night was 3:45, and the way this game is starting.
First inning will be 3:45.
Longoria, right-hand hitter, pitch. There's a strike at the knees, and the count 0-1.
What do they call those balls? Disco balls? You know the balls I
know exactly what you're talking about.
They've got one in the middle of the clubhouse that they lower when they win big games. Last night was a big. And they're turning on. They got the lights going, and they're all dancing. Happy little clubhouse.
Yeah. Well, when you win, it's okay. They probably don't do it when they lose.
No, I'm sure they do.
The 0-1 is low. Kuroda, last year, he may have been 13-16, but he played for a team that didn't hit a lick. His ERA was really good, 3.07. He had less hits than innings pitched, 202 innings, 196 hits. He walked 49, which is about 2 1/4. So he and Price both have very good control. Jennings off second. Nunez trying to hold him close, or Cano trying to hold him close. There's a ground ball wide of third. A-Rod fields, fires to first in time. Nice play. On to third goes Jennings. The ground ball was to the glove side, and A-Rod ranged far. And as he picked it, he whirled and made a very good throw.
A terrific throw, and if the ball had gotten by Alex, it would have been a very hard play for Nunez because he would have been going towards the foul line, and that's a very tough throw. And, also Nunez doesn't have the most accurate arm, so a very good play by Alex.
There's Matt Joyce, a left-hand hitter. Joyce was 0 for 4 yesterday, but that basically was against Sabathia. He doesn't hit lefties. A very good lefty hitter, and obviously a very good hitter against righties. A runner at third, 2 out, pitch, breaking ball low, and the count 1-0. Jennings representing the first run of the game. He leads off third with 2 men out, bottom of the first. Now the right-hander is 1-0, way inside, and the count 2-0. So Kuroda gets a new ball and walks completely around the mound, climbs back on top from the backside. Behind Joyce 2-0, there's a very good hitter on deck, Ben Zobrist. He's a switch hitter that will bat left. Now Kuroda behind 2-0, and the pitch, there's a strike on the outside corner, and the count 2-1.
Like so many of the Japanese pitchers, Kuroda has that little hesitation. He does it as he brings his knee up. He'll stop for a split second.
When we were in Japan, a very top dignitary, I can't think who it was, threw out the first ball, and he had a pause.
Yes.
Or to hitch.
Yes.
The 2-1 is dribbled weakly up the third baseline. It goes foul, and the Yankees are lucky it did, because there's no play on that ball. So Jennings back to third, and Matt Joyce back to home plate. The count 2-2. Today's game presented by your local tri-state area Audi dealers and the new 2012 Audi A6. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Joyce out of the batter's box. Kuroda takes his time anyway. I think you've noticed that. And it'll be a 2-2. Jennings leads off third with 2 men out. And the right-hander deals low. Nice block by Martin. That was in the dirt. And Martin moving to his right made a nice block. So the count goes full 3-2.
And John, what we've noticed about Kuroda during spring training, when he doesn't have his control the way he wants it, he takes a long time. When he gets between pitches, particularly, when he gets in a rhythm, he really can get in a rhythm and get the ball and throw it very, very quickly. But he's searching here.
And behind 3-2, the runner at third and 2 out, bottom of the first, scoreless. Oh, Kuroda now deals 3-2. Inside ball 4. Joyce took a very close pitch, and Kuroda kind of kicks out the dirt. Let's look at it, Susan.
Well, Kuroda thought it was a strike, and we're looking at it again.
Close.
It was really close. That pitch sort of backs up. He thought it backed up on the corner, and he really was disappointed. And he's trying to compose himself. Usually he's extremely composed.
That's probably his two-seam fastball, which did back up. And if it missed the corner, it missed by maybe an inch. But, if you're going to argue balls and strikes, the game would take 20 hours or so. Yeah. You're not allowed to do it. Here is Ben Zobrist, who's 1 for 5 yesterday with an RBI. Switch hitter batting left. First and third, 2 out. Pitch is a strike. And so Kuroda gets the all-important first strike on a breaking ball. In these kinds of situations, and you can see that Kuroda's a little frustrated, Mike Messina always used to say that, you have to use the first inning to get used to where they're calling the strikes. And then you just have to adjust. It'll be an 0-1. Low, the count 1-1. I think you're right. But the pitch that Kuroda made to Joyce, that's an awfully good pitch.
Yes, it is.
That's where you want the ball.
Absolutely. I think Messina's point was if that's what they're going to call it, you just adjust a little bit. It's very tough.
And that's why the umpires to be consistent. If you call it a certain way, call it that way all game. It'll be a 1-1. Zobrist takes a half swing for a strike. He swung at a fastball that was way out of the zone, and that was at 91. So it'll be a 1-2 to Zobrist with Jennings at third and Joyce at first.
Got to be very confusing to the hitter. Everything was low, and then that pitch was at his neck. Totally fooled by it.
And the 1-2 high. Same, they went up the ladder. By that time he checked the swing. Well, that's a good thing to do to change the eye angle. You don't want to throw the same pitch in the same spot. You have to keep moving it around. So Kuroda has a 2-2 count on Zobrist. Jennings leads off third. Joyce leads off first. The outfield plays Zobrist straight away. As Kuroda comes set high, now bluffs toward third and first. I owe you a station break, my goodness.
He did that a lot in spring training, the bluff to third and first. Never works.
No.
Steve Busby used to do it.
I think we've seen it work once or twice, maybe.
Jeff Nelson used to do it at least once or twice a game.
Right. That he did.
It didn't work then either.
The 2-2. Fastball inside, so the count goes full 3-2. Jennings has to play it safe, and Joyce will be a running from first on the 3-2. And Teixeira notifies Kuroda he'll play in back of the runner. Left-hand hitter up. He should play all the way back. Now, let's face it, Joyce is going to get a head start anyway.
Very tough first inning. Kuroda almost at 25 pitches. And that pitch will be his 24th pitch in the first inning.
That'll be a 3-2. And the payoff is outside ball 4. They're loaded up. Kuroda is pitching ultra carefully. And here is another left-hand hitter and home run hitter, Luke Scott. And A-Rod comes in to say something to Kuroda.
And last year, Kuroda walked 49 men all year in 202 innings.
2.25 men. I broke that out. And just being very careful, don't you think?
I do. And sometimes, things can get in your head. I'm sure he's heard, he's going to have a tough time with this lineup. He knows what lefties do against him. I think he's being a little tentative and very slow. I haven't seen this all spring training.
Now, here is Scott. He was 0 for 1 yesterday as a pinch hitter. Bases loaded, 2 men out. And the right-hander deals, swung on and line to center. There's a base hit. 2 runs will score. Grandison throws home. It's cut off. It's a base hit. And 2 RBIs for Scott. And Tampa takes a 2-0 lead.
Well, Here comes Larry Rothschild to talk to Kuroda. Let's see where this pitch is. Well, it's low, but he just went down and got it. And Scott loves the ball there. He just went down and got that pitch and just lined it into center field.
Well, they say all lefty hitters love the ball low, and Scott jumped on that. Stopping at second was Zobrist. They give Scott 2 RBIs. And Tampa takes a 2-0 lead. Now Rothschild leaves.
He just looks very tentative to me. He hasn't. We watched him every 5 days at spring training. He was getting the ball and throwing it and spotting that fastball. It sinks a little bit. He'd give up a couple of runs, but really slowed down.
Unearned runs, of course, because of the Nunez era.
True.
An era. And 2 walks loaded him up with 2 outs, and then Scott delivered the big 2-run hit. And by the way, that's a big reason why you win games. 2-out hits. It gives you a lot of time to get someone on and move them around. And the Yankees did not have that yesterday after their early offense. Jeff Keppinger takes a strike. Keppinger is, along with Pena. Pena had just a few at-bats against Kuroda. He played for the Cubs last year. Keppinger is 4 for 15 lifetime against Kuroda. And Jeff was 2 for 3 in yesterday's game. Runners lead, first and second, 2 out. Pitch is grounded to short. Nunez goes to second for the force. So a couple of unearned runs cashed in by Luke Scott. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 big error, and 2 men left on at the end of 1. It's 2-0 Tampa Bay on the Yanks Radio Network, driven by Jeep.
This game is brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealer, home of the best-selling brand in America. Stop by for a great deal on the new Ford car, truck, SUV, or crossover. Get to your Tri-State Ford dealer today.
10-second station ID on the New York Yankees Radio Network.
Change the station. Keep your radio set to WCBS, and we've got you covered.
John Sterling and Susan Waldman at the Trop in St. Pete. 2-0 Tampa Bay. They take the lead as they did last night. Here's Curtis Granderson batting 6th tonight against Price. And the first pitch, a fastball that is called high, and the count 1-0. Granderson was 0 for 5 yesterday, and he's 6 for 31 against Price. There's a strike, another fastball, almost in the same spot, the count 1-1. Price is so talented that Granderson, who hit 41 home runs last year, is being played to hit to the opposite field. There's a strike, another fastball, same spot, all up and in. And the center fielder Desmond Jennings must be 5 or 6 steps over in left center against Grandy. Pitch is grounded weakly to second, and Keppinger throws out Granderson, 1 away.
And tried to pull that ball on the outside part of the plate, and you just turn the wrists over and ground it very softly to the right side of the infield. While we were doing that at bat, Eduardo Nunez was having a conversation with Mick Kelleher, who's as good an infield coach as there is, and he was explaining to him what he did wrong on that play that led to that error.
And the error led to 2 runs.
Yep.
There's Andrew Jones. Overshift is on. 3 infielders on the left side. And Andrew takes a strike. Last year, in just 190 at-bats, Andrew hit 247 with 13 homers, 33 RBIs, the 0-1. Fastball high and tight. And he is just 4 for 21 off Price. Well, I mentioned the only one who has hit Price for the Yankees is Swisher. Jeter's done okay. There's the 1-1. Fastball inside. I guess, Susan, you don't have to say fastball.
No.
You probably should say it if he throws something other than a fastball.
Right. And that was 94, so that was one of his slower fastballs.
The 2-1 is outside the count, 3-1.
John talked about the shift that they have, and that was a change. That was that we talk about that, 85 miles an hour. John talked about the shift. Because they have a stat for everything. I found one today, John.
The 3-1, there is a strike. Fastball.
You're going to love this. Because they have a stat for everything. The Rays led Major League Baseball in shifts last year. 216 times they shifted all year. That's 46 more than the next team.
3-2 foul back, fought off a fastball.
Which was the Milwaukee Brewers. They have a stat for everything.
Everything. I'm surprised you can compile that stat. I wonder how you do that.
Someone sits and counts up shifts.
Yes. There'll be a payoff to Jones with 1 out, no one on in the second. And the payoff is cut on a miss, high fastball. And there are 2 away. That was 95.
So he threw one off-speed pitch in that at-bat. One changeup that was 85 miles an hour, and then comes back with, as John said, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Tough pitcher.
Here's Russell Martin. He was 0 for 4 in yesterday's game. Lifetime 3 for 10. Off Price. Russell, a right-hand hitter. And the left-hander Price steals that fastball high on the count 1-0. Martin batting 8th. Eduardo Nunez is the 9th hitter. And the 1-0, there's a strike. And the count 1-1.
And now in this second inning, he's added that change. He threw one to Jones, just threw one there.
The 1-1 is inside, which I guess makes the fastball even faster.
Sure. An 86-mile-an-hour changeup. He came back with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball at 10 miles an hour faster. Must look 98, 99.
The 2-1. There is a strike on the inside corner, and the count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, no one on, and Tampa has a 2-0 lead.
Now, if he's going to start hitting corners with those changeups, he's going to be very tough tonight.
There's a 2-2. He struck him out swinging. 3 strikeouts for Price. And for the Yanks, 3 up, 3 down. At the end of an inning and a half, 2-0 Tampa Bay on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep.
Well, here we go to the bottom of the second inning with Tampa leading the Yankees on 2 unearned runs because of the error by Eduardo Nunez. And as we said, Mick Kelleher was talking to Nunez, and he went over to Kuroda and sort of patted his chest like, my fault. Now, Kuroda has had no pace here at all so far in that first inning, and he's got to pick up the pace. And stop being maybe so tentative, John. He looks very tentative trying to hit corners.
Well, I thought he was in the first inning. I thought that's why he walked 2 men. On one of them, he was ahead. Anyway, it's 2-0 Tampa Bay, 2 unearned runs, but they count. Jose Lobaton, the catcher, hits a long drive to left center on the first pitch, way over the head of Grandison. It's 1 hop against the left center field wall, and Lobaton goes to second with a double. The catcher, Jose Lobaton, a switch hitter at Durham last year in 183 at-bats. He hit very well, 293, 8 homers, 31 RBI, so he teed off on Kuroda's first pitch.
And that was a fastball running away, but he started it too much inside, so it really, when it moved away, it was still over the plate when Lobaton got a hold of it.
Now here's the 9th inning. Reed Brignac has a lot of trouble hitting tall, slim lefty hitters, so let's see if they bunt the runner up. Brignac last year had 249 at-bats and hit just 193 with a homer, 15 RBIs. A-Rod comes in a bit at third, and the pitch swung on, a high hop to shallow right. Swisher in back of the ball makes the catch, and there's no tag as Swisher fires in. Good play by Nick, and there's 1 away.
Scoreboard update sponsored by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. In the American League, in 12 innings, Toronto beat Cleveland 7-4. Casey Jansen gets the win after Sergio Santos blew the save. And Santos blew the save, and Tony Sick takes the loss. Kelly Johnson hit a homer, his first for Toronto, as Drupal Cabrera and Jason Kipnis also homered for Cleveland. 12 innings there.
They played 16 the day before.
That's right.
And they had the same score.
That's right.
Amazing. Now here's Desmond Jennings. And he takes a pitch low. Jennings hit a routine ground ball to short, and Nunez booted it. And that led to 2 runs in the first inning. He's a right-hand hitter. The catcher, Jose Lobaton, leads off second with 1 out. Now, Kuroda set high, deals, and there's a strike on the inside corner with the two-seamer, and the count is 1-1.
Detroit beat up on Josh Beckett in Boston. 10-0 was the final score there. Miguel Cabrera, or as Carlos calls him, Miguelito, had his first 2 homers. Prince Fielder also had 2 homers, and Alex Avila had 1. Doug Fister started the game but left with a strained left side.
The 1-1 bunted at foul, 1-2.
So Dwayne Belo came in and he gets the win. 10-0 Detroit over the Red Sox.
You know, one thing, talk about beginnings and the Yanks having their own problems. Verlander shut out Boston for 8 innings. They got 2 against Valverde, and today they got shut out.
Right. Yep.
So you look at their lineup and you think, gee, what a lineup. But in baseball, it's, I guess, percentages. Not I guess, it's percentages. So they begin by not hitting. That'll be a 1-2 to Jennings with 1 man out. Lobaton off second. Pitch is grounded weakly to third, foul. So the count holds 1-2.
Kansas City beat the Angels today 6-3. Luke Hochevar, who they said in spring training is finally starting to look like the player they thought that they drafted. Danny Herron takes the loss. Eric Hosmer and Mike Moustakas both homered. Kansas City winning that one 6-3. Baltimore has a 1-0 lead over the Twins. Bottom of the third at Camden Yards. Adam Jones' first homer. It's Francisco Liriano against Tommy Hunter.
Now Kuroda ready for the 1-2. And the pitch a little low on the count, 2-2.
White Sox will be in Texas at 8 o'clock. Jake Peavy against Derek Holland, and Seattle's out in Oakland. They play each other every day. They've played they went to Seattle. They went to Japan. They played there. They came back. They played each other in spring training again, and now they're playing again. They played each other 7 times this week, in the last couple of weeks.
That'll be a 2-2 to the right-hand hitter Jennings. And the pitch outside. I think Kuroda's been very tentative because he's not a wild pitcher, but he is looking to make perfect pitches. Anyway, the count 3-2 on Jennings.
In that game, it'll be Felix Hernandez against Bartolo Colon. Bartolo's already got a win this year.
And pitched great. Yep. I saw part of that game.
No hitter for a while.
Now here comes the payoff. Swung on and popped him up. Right around the pitcher's mound. Someone's going to have to catch it. Who? Teixeira, A-Rod. They run together, and Teixeira makes the catch. Teixeira on the first base side of the mound, and A-Rod on the third base side of the mound, and they met right at the rubber and pat each other on the back as Tex made the grab.
I've never really understood that. Teixeira is yelling, and he's the one who makes the call. The first baseman is the captain of that infield. I'm just glad nobody got hurt. I think Alex John tried to get out of the way at the very last minute, pulled the glove back, or Teixeira was going to get punched in the face.
That ball, if it came down, if no one was there, probably hits the pitching rubber. And when it was hit right over the pitcher's mount. Here's Carlos Pena with 2 outs. Overshift on 3 infielders on the right side. Cano in shallow right field, and the pitch is a breaking ball low, and the count 1-0.
Washington beat the Cubs 7-4. Ryan Matthews gets the win. Kerry Wood takes the loss in relief. Mets win again. They beat Atlanta 4-2. David Wright and Lucas Duda hit homers. Lucas Duda had his first 2 homers of the year. Milwaukee beat up on St. Louis 6-0. Zach Greinke beat Adam Wainwright.
That'll be a 1-0 to Pena. Lefty hit it with power. And the breaking ball low, and the count 2-0.
Arizona beat San Francisco again 5-4. The score there. Daniel Hudson gets the win. Madison Bumgarner takes the loss. Aaron Hill had 2 homers for Arizona. Phillies leading the Pirates 1-0. Bottom of the third in Pittsburgh. Cliff Lee against Jeff Karstens.
That'll be a 2-0 to Pena. And the pitch is hit on the ground toward the hole. It's a base hit to right center field. Rounding third to score is Lobaton. It's a base hit and an RBI for Pena. And Tampa takes a 3-0 lead. Pena had a hot ground ball between Cano and Nunez. Cano is playing way over in the hole and out on the outfield grass, and Nunez was playing a little bit on the first base side of second. Pena happened to hit a hard ground ball between them.
And that ball, once again, is getting too much of the middle of the plate. It's breaking over the plate, but getting too much of the middle.
So Tampa takes a 3-0 lead. Here's Longoria. That's the 6th RBI for Pena. And pitch outside. So he is off to a terrific start.
Yep. Houston is leading Colorado and Jamie Moyer 1-0. Jordan Schaefer had a homer in the first inning, but they are now in the top of the 4th. Houston just with a 1-0 lead over Colorado. Jamie Moyer against Lucas Harrell.
That'll be a 1-0. Swung on a high fly to center. Grandison going back on the track and near the wall makes the catch. He was probably 2 steps or so from the wall to end the inning. But Tampa Bay tacks on another run, 1 run. On 2 hits, 1 left. Now, at the end of 2, it's 3-0 Tampa Bay on the Yanks radio network driven by Jeep.
Baseball. WCBS 880.
Let's take 10-second station ID on the New York Yankees radio network.
HD3, New York.
David Price, first pitch. There is a strike on the outside corner. John Sterling and Susan Waldman at Tropicana. All Devil Rays, they have a 3-0 lead. As we hit the 3rd, also, John, they're not called Devil anymore, just Rays. The pitch to Nunez is chopped toward the middle, grabbed by short by Brignac, throws to first, 1 away. So Nunez grounds out 6-3.
And that's what Brignac does as well as anyone on this team. He makes that play so easily. Great arm, sort of sidewinds it.
Here's Derek Jeter, who has the only Yankee hit. He had a ground ball single up the middle. Yanks have only had 1 other base runner. It's a walk to A-Rod. And the pitch is low inside. The count 1-0. Every now and then, Price will throw a slider or a change, but basically, he throws heat. Pitch is line, base hit, right center field. Jennings fields, and Jeter is on. He's 2 for 2 and hitting the ball very hard.
Very hard and right up the middle. That sort of think middle, as Jeter always says. That was a mantra for a long time around here.
Nick Swisher popped up his first time. Are you planning ahead for senior living? I've been to Riverwalk at the Hebrew Home in Riverdale. Terrific, like a Northeast College campus on the banks of the Hudson. A million activities and fabulous rooms, like a first-class hotel. Swisher takes a fastball inside, and you'll love the senior lifestyle. Call 800-56-SENIOR or visit HebrewHome.org. Outfield straight away for Swisher. Basically, the infield is 2. Second baseman Keppinger shading towards second. The pitch low, and the count 2-0. Yesterday, the Yankees fell behind. They fell behind 4-0, and they rallied in 2 straight innings and wound up leading 6-4. Longoria homered 6-5 in the 3rd, and that's the way it stayed in the 9th inning. That'll be a 2-0 to Swisher. Line hard to left field, right at Joyce. Makes the catch, fires in. Now Swisher hit it right on the nose, but right at Joyce, 2 away.
This game is brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealer. Take on the high cost of gas in a fuel-efficient Ford Focus. Get to your Tri-State Ford dealer today.
We mentioned that Swisher is the only Yankee who really hits Price. In fact, he hitting almost 500 against him, and boy, did he hit the ball hard there. He hit it as hard as you can hit it, but right at Joyce in left field. Well, here is Cano with 2 outs. Robbie hit into a fielder's choice his first time. And takes a strike at the knees. The one thing about Price, that's a great combination. He obviously throws in the 90s, 95 on up. And he doesn't walk people. He averages 2 walks per 9 innings last year, which is great. I would say that is a good combination.
Yes.
To throw that hard and throw strikes. There'll be an 0-1 to Cano. That pitch in the dirt, blocked by Lobaton. And the count 1-1.
Lobaton is more of a hitting catcher than a defensive catcher.
He's very important, though. We mentioned it yesterday. Molina has never played a full year. He's been a backup. And now he's at an advanced age, and he's a big, heavy guy. Does he play more than 100 games?
He seems to think, I had a long talk with him today, he seems to think he's going to, and I'll tell you what he did differently this year.
The 1-1 is lined right to short. Oh, the Yankees swung the bat well. They've got to learn not to hit atom balls. No runs on, a hit, 1 left. At the end of 2.5, it's 3-0 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Here we go to the bottom of the third. Kuroda gave up a 2-out, 2-run single to Scott in the first, and a 2-out ribby single to Pena in the second. So the Yankees are trailing 3-0. Here's Matt Joyce, the cleanup hitter. He walked his first time. And Kuroda deals, swung on a high drive to right. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Matt Joyce hit it 3/4 of the way back in the right field seats. So Joyce homers, and Tampa Bay takes a 4-0 lead. And one thing, the first pitch of the last 2 innings has been tattooed. Lobaton doubled on the first pitch to begin the second, and obviously Joyce just homered on the first pitch here.
Well, let's see where this is. Russell Martin is setting up down low, and that hung over the middle of the plate. And that was a little bit over the knees and perfect. And John said it before. Left-handers love the ball low. This was absolutely directly over the middle of the plate.
There's Ben Zobrist. And the pitch is strike. So the Yankees gotten off to a terrible start. They're down 4-0 yesterday. And they're down 4-0 today. And you're not going to make much of a living if you're down 4-0 to Shields and Price. Pitch to Zobrist. I know they came back yesterday, but you can't think of doing that every day, especially against the quality of pitchers that they are facing. Zobrist walked his first time, and he hits a high fly to left center. Granderson drifting back. Curtis is there and makes the catch for the first out.
And certainly this is not the way that Hiroki Kuroda wanted to start his career in the American League as a Yankee. You heard him on with me on the pregame through his translator, Kenji Nomura, talking about how he wanted to play here because it was a challenge, and the American League, which is different from the National League, obviously, hitting-wise, if nothing else, because of the DH and how particularly the American League East, he wanted it as a challenge. So far, it's not going very well for him.
No, not at all. Luke Scott's a hitter. He had a 2-run single his first time and takes a strike on the outside corner. When Robbie Cano lined out to short to end the top of the third, that was the 15th out. What does that mean? I'll tell you right now. Scott takes high. That was the 15th out. Kuroda's 1-1. And it's a breaking ball low, and the count 2-1. See, in the first inning, Nunez made an error, but then Kuroda got the next 2 men out. And with 2 outs and a runner on base, he then walked Joyce and Zobrist, pitching too carefully, and Scott had the 2-run base hit. There's a hot shot up the middle and through to center field, a base hit. So Scott is 2 for 2, 2 hot shots right back through the middle. And Tampa has a runner with 2 outs, and here is a right-hand hitter, Jeff Keppinger.
And Scott, one of the new acquisitions that Tampa Bay got, along with bringing back Carlos Pena and adding Jeff Keppinger to try and get a little pop in this lineup.
So a runner at first with 1 out, and Tampa Bay with a big, fat 4-0 lead. And It's true, you can certainly come back from 4 runs down. But when you have a 4-0 lead and David Price is pitching, you don't want a whole lot more. Here is Keppinger, right-hand hitter, and the pitch is grounded to third. A-Rod fields, goes to Cano for the force. The throw to first, double play. They complete the double play, round the horn. A 5-4-3 DP. A great relay by Cano. That's why they got the double play. 1 run, 2 hits, no one left at the end of 3. It's 4-0 Tampa Bay on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, through 3, 0-2-1 Yanks, 4-5-0 Tampa Bay, and I think the Yankees would love to start a game without being down 4-0. Seems a tough way to play. Here is A-Rod, who walked his first time. Yesterday, Alex had 2 hits and 2 walks. He was on base 4 out of 5 times. So now on the year, he's been on base 5 out of 6 times. There's a breaking ball strike, and I'd like to go out on a limb and say that A-Rod now leads the major leagues in on-base percentage. The 0-1 is inside. They'll probably stay there all year. So it's a 1-1 count on Alex, who got buzzed inside by a 95-mile-an-hour heater. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and grounded up the middle. Fielded by Keppinger behind second. Fires to first in time. You have to give credit to the charts that Tampa Bay has, because they have people in the right spot. And A-Rod hit the ball perfectly. A shot up the middle. But there was Keppinger. He's playing behind second.
Absolutely. Matt Joyce didn't even move on that line drive to left field in the last inning. That was beautiful. Keppinger just moved over a step and a half.
And that's where he was.
Right there.
Now here's Teixeira with 1 out and no one on. And the pitch is grounded foul outside of third. See an all-star lineup at your tri-state area Land Rover retailer during the Select Certified Pre-Owned Sales event. It lasts through April 30th. The 0-1 low. Visit LandRoverTristate.com/CPO for more information. There's the 1-1. A high fly to center. Jennings moves about 3 or 4 steps to left center to make the catch. And there are 2 away.
Well, David Price is just cruising along.
Center fielder, Curtis Granderson.
That he is.
Wow.
Now 2 down. Here's Curtis Granderson.
I thought Tampa was supposed to have a not very good offense. Isn't that what we heard of predictions of people all year, all spring training?
Well, they judge it by 2 games. They're in good shape.
They're pretty good so far.
The pitch to Granderson is inside the count, 1-0. Now the 1-0 inside fastball. And the count 2-0. That was 96. Granderson grounded to second his first time. Now the 2-0. Swung on and line to right. Pulled it down the line. It's a base hit. Going toward the corner. Granderson holds at first. He had a good turn. But Zobrist got over this so quickly. He captured the ball before it goes to the wall. It goes to the wall. It's an easy double. So a 2-out base hit for Granderson. And Granderson was 0 for 6 on the year. Pretty happy about that hit.
And that fastball ran back over the middle of the plate, so Granderson was able to turn on it. And Zobrist has really worked at playing that wall. It's a little difficult down there. It goes around from the foul pole. Doesn't go straight. And he waited for the ball, knew exactly where it was coming back, and has a very good arm. I think Granderson thought, John, he was on his way to second, had to hold up and come back.
Well, the ball didn't go past Zobrist. He made a nice play. Here is Jones. And the fastball is high. The entire right side is open. Pena's holding the runner on, and that's it. There's no other one on the right side. Keppinger is not only on the third base side of second, but he's there by about 6 or 7 steps. That'll be a 1-0 to Andrew, and the pitch is low, and obviously their charts say he does not hit ground balls to the right side. The outfield basically is straight away, although Zobrist, the right fielder, is playing away over in right center. But basically, they're playing him fairly straight away. But in the infield, the entire right side is open. That'll be a 2-0, and that's grounded foul behind the plate. And the count 2-1.
You know, Granderson, I was talking to him before the game. We were talking about the shifts, and because he should hit into the shift every single time last night, up 0 for 5, couple of strikeouts and hit a double play. But he said that Tampa is not the only team that shifts against him. He says that the White Sox do it, Baltimore does it a lot, and Toronto does it.
2-1. Caught on and missed. You know what you didn't say? What Molina said about catching.
Oh, he said, I asked him, are you going to be able to make it through the whole season? He said he did something different this year. When he always worked out during the winter, he got in good shape, but he didn't get in baseball shape until he came to camp and played himself into baseball shape, which is different than running and working with weights, etc. He said he was ready to go from the time he, as Lobaton goes out to talk to Price, he was ready to go from the time he stepped in camp, so that he's ahead of the game. And he thought that maybe that's why he would break down, because he used spring training to get into shape. And we have seen with a lot of people how that just doesn't work. So he thinks he's going to be fine this year. We'll see. I mean, time will tell. But he said he did that differently this year. He's never done that before.
There'll be a 2-2 to Jones with 2 outs. Granderson leading off first. And Tampa Bay has a 4-0 lead, top of the 4th. The pitch is a breaking ball in the dirt. On to second goes Granderson. The ball kicked off Lobaton, the third baseline. So Granderson is there on a wild pitch. And the Yankees have a runner at second with 2 out. And that'll be a 3-2 to Jones. Russell Martin is the on-deck hitter. Now the big lefty is looking in for the sign. Granderson with the lead. 3-2. Lined hard. There's a base hit to left field. Granderson will score. Joyce throws towards second. It's a base hit. And an RBI for Andrew Jones. The Yankees are on the board. They trail 4-1.
That's how you beat the shift. You hit over it and not try and hit through it. And let's see where this pitch is. And that backs up. That's about thigh high, and Andrew went out and got that and pulled it. Andrew Jones very, very strong. So on the outside part of the plate, he was still able to pull it.
And so the wild pitch, a very big play in this inning that moved the runner up, and that's how the Yankees scored the run. So they trail 4-1. Here's Russell Martin. He struck out his first time. A 2-out rally, single, wild pitch, single, and a throw to first to check on Andrew. They have another sellout. Last night's crowd was 34 something, and they called it a sellout. And this looks like the same crowd.
It does. I think it's 3478. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
34,078.
Suppose I gave you a number. Tell the audience what this number represents.
Okay.
I'll bet anything you know the number. Pitch. Strike. 13,909.
That is the capacity of the Boston Garden. The old Boston Garden.
In the old days, when the Celts had a sellout, 13,909. And remember, amazing you remember things like that.
We heard it forever.
Yeah, we did.
13,909.
That'll be an 0-1. Inside as Martin skips rope. The count 1-1. We're in the top of the 4th. The Rays have a 4-1 lead. And the Yankees have Jones at first with 2 out. That'll be a 1-1 to Russell. Up high with a fastball. And a throw goes down the first baseline and into right field. Jones not only goes around second, he heads for third, and he's there. If you make them throw the ball, sooner or later they'll throw it away. You've heard that over the years. And over at third base now is Andrew Jones. Help keep your family safe and secure with 167 years of financial strength. New York Life Insurance Company can help ensure your loved ones will always be taken care of. Find out more at NewYorkLife.com. Lobaton snapped the throw, and Pena wasn't near the bag.
Pena wasn't even looking at him. He snapped the throw, and Pena was the most surprised person in the ballpark. You have to make sure that your first baseman is looking at you. He was not looking at him.
And he wasn't there.
And
he was off the bag.
He wasn't even looking anywhere near him.
So the ball went right down the right field line. Now, if there were less than 2 outs, it would be a bigger play. But there are 2 outs. That's a 2-1 count on Martin.
And that's an error on Lobaton. And Jim Hickey came out to talk to Price, but he was laughing, and Carlos said something, and he was laughing. So, try and make a joke out of it, I guess.
The 2-1, a breaking ball, is low, and the count 3-1.
Curveball, first one we've seen all night.
Now 3-1 on Russell, and Eduardo Nunez on deck. Here's the 3-1. Caught on a miss, and then the count 3-2. Pulled the string on Martin, who was way ahead of the pitch, as that's his change. He's thrown a bunch of changes. Well, the count full 3-2. And here's the payoff. Low ball 4. And he threw a breaking ball. So, that's the first walk. The second walk off Price. And here is Eduardo Nunez, and he is the tying run.
And interestingly enough, when Jim Hickey had that meeting on the mound and came back, Price threw nothing but breaking pitches, threw a couple of curveballs and changeup. And he must have said, don't give Martin any more fastballs.
Well, here's Nooney, who grounded to short his first time. He's a right-hand hitter. And the fastball's high. Nunez is going to be a very good hitter. Last year, in 309 at-bats, he had 265, 5 homers, 30 RBIs. And he also, a very good offensive player, he stole 22 bases in that limited playing time. 1-0. There's a strike, and the count 1-1. And even though he hit 5 homers, he got pop. He's not a singles-hitting middle infielder. Now, I have to get his defense straightened out. He probably is going to be a very good offensive player. Here's the tying run. It'll be a 1-1 pitch from Price with 2 out. And the pitch is lined to left center field. There is a base hit in the gap. It is cut off by Jennings. Martin goes to third. Jones scores. It's a base hit. And an RBI by Eduardo Nunez. And the Yankees now trail 4-2.
96-mile-an-hour fastball got too much of the middle of the plate, and Nunez was absolutely ready for it. It was up, and that's the problem with that. You could see Lobaton setting up down low, but the pitch was up, and Nunez just hammered it.
Susan, you said a mouthful, because it's a sexy thing to call the speed of pitches now that we have that in every ballpark. But what does it prove? He threw 96, but he threw it in the wrong spot.
Right.
Movement and location are much more important than speed. Well, here's Jeter. He's 2 for 2. With first and third, 2 men out. And the pitch is low. Well, the Yankees with a 2-out rally. 2 out, single. Wild pitch, single for a run. Walk, single for a run. They trail 4-2. And the tying runs are on base. Martin at third has good speed. Nunez at first has exceptional speed. Now the 1-0. There's a strike. Very quietly, without doing a whole lot, the Yankees have run up the pitch count. Price has thrown 72 pitches. I just looked up on the board. I almost couldn't believe it.
Remember, they used everybody last night except the rookie Josh Lukey, who they had recalled from AAA when Farnsworth went on the DL.
That'll be a 1-1 inside as Jeter kind of squirms away in the count 2-1.
You cut the lead in half. Plenty of time left. Fourth inning.
Of course, one thing in that case, you have stopped them from scoring. So we'll see how Kuroda pitches.
That's part of the plan.
It'll be a 2-1. The pitch is fouled away. That's always part of the plan. Doesn't work all the time.
There's Kuroda, another National League pitcher. Welcome to the American League, particularly the American League East. Going to have to get used to it. And they're hitting him early in the count, so he can't even break out that splitter. You haven't even seen it because he's not ahead.
Now Jeter climbs back in. It'll be a 2-2. Martin off third, Nunez off first with 2 out, top of the fourth. 4-2 Tampa. Pitch. Swung on and lined off the glove of Price. Recovers and throws to first in time. Nunez was going on the pitch. Well, the Yankees get 2. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, 2 left. And at the end of 3.5, 4-2 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by G.
Radio. The best teams in New York play on 880 AM.
John Sterling, Susan Waldman back at the Trop in St. Petersburg, Tropicana Field. Tampa has a 4-2 lead. And today's game is presented by your local tri-state area Audi dealers and the new 2012 Audi A6. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Well, now Kuroda is back in the game, trailing 4-2. Here's Lobaton. Hit a first pitch double to left center his first time. Switch hitter batting left and takes a strike on the outside. I called the strike. Unfortunately, I'm not umpiring. Sam Holbert called it a ball. Looked good to me. Another count 1-0. That pitch hit in the air to right. Drifting back is Swisher on the edge of the track. Makes the catch, and there's one away.
Scoreboard update sponsored by Prudential. Bring your challenges in the American League in 12 innings. Toronto wins again. They beat Cleveland 7-4. They got 4 runs in the top of the 12th inning. So they played 16 innings and 12 innings in 2 games. Detroit beat up on Josh Beckett, who gave up 5 home runs. They beat the Red Sox 10-0 for Detroit, 10 runs and 12 hits. And Miguel Cabrera, 2 homers. Prince Fielder, 2 homers. Alex Avila, 1. Bad news for Detroit. Doug Fister out after 3 with a strain in his left side.
Lefty hitter Reed Brignac takes a strike.
Kansas City beat the Angels 6-3. Lokochaver gets his first win. Danny Herron takes the loss. Eric Hosmer and Mike Moustakas both homered for KC. Baltimore has chased Francisco Liriano. It's 6-0 in the 5th.
The 0-1 is cut on and foul tipped at home plate. The count 1-2.
Adam Jones has a home run. Liriano only went 4 innings, giving up 6 runs on 8 hits. Alex Burnett is in now. White Sox scored 1 off of Derek Holland in the first inning. They lead Texas 1-0 as they go to the bottom of the second. They're in Texas and Seattle at Oakland a little bit later.
0-2 is line towards center. Granderson back makes the catch. Had to move a couple of steps back. So there are 2 away, and that will bring up the top of the order and Desmond Jennings.
4 finals in the National League. Washington beat the Cubbies 7-4. Ryan Matthews is the winner. Kerry Wood takes the loss. It was the Mets winning again. They beat Atlanta 4-2. David Wright had a homer. Lucas Duda had 2. Milwaukee beat St. Louis and Adam Wainwright 6-0. Zach Greinke gets the win.
Jennings takes high.
Corey Hart, 2 homers. Ricky Weeks, his first. Arizona beat San Francisco 5-4. Daniel Hudson beat Madison Bumgarner.
The 1-0. Cut on and missed in the count. 1-1.
Phillies scored 1 run on the top of the first off of Jeff Karsten. That's all the runs so far. It's 1-0 Philadelphia over the Pirates as they go to the top of the 6th. They are in Pittsburgh. Houston has scored 4 runs off of Jamie Moore. It's 4-0 Houston over Colorado.
Pitch outside 2-1 on Jennings.
Jordan Schaefer and J.D. Martinez have homered there. All tied up, Miami and Cincinnati, 2 apiece. They're in the bottom of the 5th in Cincy.
The 2-1 is grounded foul off third, 2-2.
And the Dodgers at San Francisco a little later. Chris Capuano against our old friend Dustin Mosley.
Ooh.
He is our old friend.
Yeah,
Nice
and he's a good guy.
Nice man.
You have to root for him. 2-2 on Jennings, who reached on an error, scored, and then popped up. Kuroda trying to get his first 1-2-3 inning, and the 2-2, a high pop foul fly down the right field line, well back in the seats. Tampa has a 4-2 lead. Hits are even. Both teams have made an error. The Yankee error was a biggie by Nunez, kept the inning alive, and ultimately Luke Scott had a 2-run base hit. Here is the 2-2. He struck him out swinging. So Kuroda's best inning. Down are the Rays, 1-2-3. We go to the top of the 5th inning. It's 4-2 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Now here is Cano, who has hit into a force out and then hit a line drive to the shortstop, Brignac. This is a big batter in the inning as Price deals. Hit on the ground, double play ball to second. Flip it to short, 1 on to first, double play. Couldn't get the words out of my mouth fast enough, because if he gets on, then you have A-Rod and Teixeira. But that was a tailor-made double play, or as our buddy Joe Garagiola would say, a room service double play.
That takes care of that.
Yes. A-Rod has walked and grounded up the middle, and that's where Keppinger was playing. Now, with 2 outs, you know he's going to swing full. And there's Keppinger away over on the third base side of second. A-Rod takes a strike. He struck him out swinging, off-speed pitch. No runs, no hits, and no one left. Now at the end of 4.5, it's 4-2 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. And he'll deal the payoff pitch to Pena. And it's low, ball 4. So Pena walks, and here is Longoria.
Now, this is different, and we've seen National League pitchers. You don't want to make any kind of judgment the first time the guy pitches over here, because he's got, he does adjust. He's very good at that.
But it is true that a lot of people, that means fans, not just people in the game, they have a kind of an inbred prejudice. Longoria, the right-hand hitter, and he takes a pitch low against National League pitchers coming not just to the American League, but coming to the American League East.
It's very true, John. I think it's, again, it's one game. You have to see how it plays out here. Maybe he ends up pitching great against the division all year. But certainly when you have only a small sample size to go by, that's what you judge things by.
Longoria has grounded out, flied out. Pena, without speed, leads off first, and the pitch there is a strike on the outside corner, and the count 1-1.
We're concentrating so much, Mark, on the pitching last night of CeCe and Mariano and Kuroda here today. The Yankee offense, I know they scored 6 runs, but they're 2 for 11 runners in scoring position last night. They left 12 men on base. I mean, they're not exactly lighting up the skies here with their offense.
No, they left the bases loaded 3 times last night, and you just can't do that.
And that'll be a 1-1 to Longoria. The pitch is low because you come back and say, gee, if we had had 1 hit. You got to have a hit with men on base, obviously.
Yeah, they certainly had enough opportunities last night. And like you said, scoring 6 runs off James Shields, you have to feel pretty good about that. But when you have 6 runs at the end of the 3rd inning and you can't add to that lead at all the whole game, I know Mariano's Mariano, but once in a while, things like last night happen.
That'll be a 2-1 to Longoria. Double play, ground ball to short. Nunez to Cano on to first, double play. Now Kuroda got
6-4-3 double play.
The ground ball that he needed, and the Yankees turned it easily 2 down.
No, Mark, and that's something we said. We've had the same conversation. It's like Groundhog Day from last year.
Oh, absolutely. And it's the same thing where there's not necessarily one guy who's to blame for it. Everybody had their chance last night. It wasn't like, one guy came up 5 times with the bases loaded and made an out every time. It was spread all throughout the lineup, and just, one of those nights where you get 12 guys on base against the Rays on a night like that, that's a good thing, but you can't get any of them in.
Now here's Matt Joyce, who's walked and homered, and he takes a pitch low on the count 1-0.
Let me ask you quickly, because I asked Joe last night if he thought any of the shifts was getting into the heads of any of the players. He said no. What about you? What do you think?
Here's the 1-0 to the lefty hitter, pitch low on the count 2-0.
I don't know that it's getting in their heads. It's certainly a different look. It probably gives them a momentary pause when they get up there,
right.
Especially the guys who don't see the shift as often. Obviously, Teixeira doesn't think twice about it when he sees it now, but Granderson probably does.
The 2-0. There's a strike on the inside corner.
You know, tonight you see Andrew Jones with the shift, and I think you've seen Alex get a shift. It's not something you normally see. Joe Madden, obviously not your conventional manager either.
No.
Well, yesterday, with a 2-1, hit on the ground a second, as Cano will throw out Joyce. We unfortunately will bid farewell to Mr. Feinstein. We'll see you tomorrow.
I will be here.
And what is a very big start. I was going to get to Phil Hughes, but no runs, no hits, and no one left at the end of 5. It's 4-2 Tampa on the Yanks Radio Network, driven by Jeep.
Why buy anywhere else?
See an all-star lineup at your tri-state area Land Rover retailer during the Select Certified Pre-Owned Sales event through April 30th. Visit LandRoverTristate.com. Ground ball by Teixeira toward the hole. Grabbed it short by Brignac. The throw in time. Pretty play. He's got a good arm. He was deep in the hole at short, reared back and fired a strike to Pena. Teixeira hit the ball hard. 1 away. So visit LandRoverTristate.com/CPO for more information. 1 away. Here's Granderson. Well, that was a 1-pitch at bat. Price is at 88 pitches. And Granderson takes a strike. And if you're thinking, well, the Yankees would like to get Price out of the game, you bet your bippy they would.
Just as you said that, someone's gotten up in the Rays pen.
Granderson check swings a foul, third base side, so he's way behind on the count. 0-2. 4-2 Tampa. Well, I was going to ask Mark a question, but I'll pitch to Granderson is a blooper over the mound, played by Longoria, throws to first in time. Nice play. Hit on the fist, did a little blooper. That one hop in the shortstop area, and Longoria raced in to make the play 2 down.
Well, when you talk to Joe Madden and during the spring, and you talk to everybody around Tampa, this is what they're going to base their team on, pitching and that kind of defense. We saw Brignac make a great play, and Longoria is as good as it gets.
So 2 down. Here's Andrew Jones, who's 1 for 2 with the ribby single. If the Yankees lose this game, my whole thing was, it's a big start for Phil Hughes, his first start of the year, and all of a sudden he needs to win. So if they lose the game, I'm not saying they will, that would avoid a sweep. So that's a big start for Mr. Hughes. The pitch to Andrews, a breaking ball strike. 3 infielders on the left side. Pena by his lonesome on the right side, and Keppinger is not behind second base. He made the pitch low. He may be 8 steps on the third base side of second. And on the count, 1-1 on Andrew. 4-2 Tampa, top of the 6th. 2 outs, no one on. And the 1-1, caught on him, missed him. The count 1-2.
They threw him that curveball that time, and he threw him so many fastballs in the last at bat, and Jones hit one over the shift into left field. He's throwing him breaking pitches here. Change it up if you're a good pitcher, and you can do it.
Here's the 1-2, rounded foul at home plate. So the count holds 1-2. The Rays with a 4-2 lead here in the top of the 6th. 1-2, swung on and hit in the air to deep left. That ball is high. It is far. It is caught right at the wall by Joyce. Joyce backed up to the wall and did take a step in and made the catch. So Andrews' fly ball stays in the ballpark. 1-2-3 go the Yanks. At the end of 5.5, it's 4-2 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Let's take 10 seconds station ID on the New York Yankees radio network.
WCBS and WCBS-FM HD3, New York.
John Sterling, Susan Waldman at Tropicana. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Rays have a 4-2 lead. And Ben Zobrist will lead it off. Zobrist, Scott Keppinger, lefty-righty against Kuroda. And his first pitch, Scott out of missed. And the count 0-1. Zobrist had a walk and fly to center. There's the 0-1. Line hard deep down the right field line. It's a base hit. It goes one hop to the wall. Zobrist, who runs great, goes to second easily with a double, and a very good start for Tampa in the 6th.
And that ball hit the side wall and then the back wall before Swisher could get it. I don't think he would have gotten Zobrist anyway. Zobrist is very, very speedy, as John said. You know, you look at that pitch again, John, when he's gotten in trouble against the lefties, most of them have been low balls. That was up high, and Zobrist turned on that ball. It was about letters high.
Now here's Luke Scott, a lefty hitter, who has singled twice. He's hit 2 hot shots up the middle. Nunez goes on the first base side of second by a couple of steps. Kuroda is set, and the pitch is hit in the air to deep right. Back goes Swisher on the track. It's over his head. One hop off the wall. Zobrist has scored. Scott to second with a double. It is a ribby double for Luke Scott, and Tampa takes a 5-2 lead.
And you look at this, and this is what Luke Scott now has 3 RBIs. He had a 2-run single after that error in the first inning and an RBI double here. And Larry Rothschild has gone to the phone, and someone is getting up. And Rothschild going out to talk to Kuroda.
No, Scott has 3 hits tonight. And as Susan said, 3 RBIs. And the lefties have done their damage. Joyce, a home run. Zobrist, a double to begin this inning. Lobaton, a double to begin the second inning, and he scored. Pena singled him in, another lefty hitter. And here, back-to-back doubles by Zobrist and Scott. So the lefties have really hit Kuroda.
And Corey Wade is getting up in the Yankee bullpen.
And this isn't the only team with a lot of lefty hitters. Cleveland has nothing but lefty hitters. And the Red Sox have great lefty hitters, so they'll have to adapt. Here's Keppinger with a runner at third. Or check that, a runner at second and no one out. And Tampa takes a 5-2 lead. Keppinger's a right-hand hitter. He's 0 for 2. And the pitch outside, 1-0.
Fans come out to Yankee Stadium on Wednesday, April 18th, when the Yankees play the Twins. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Keep America Beautiful tomato seed packet. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com.
Now the 1-0. And it's fouled down the right field line. And the count 1-1. Now, Kuroda's be a 1-1 to the right-hand hitting Keppinger. And the pitch is hit on one hop to second. Cano fields and throws to first. But the pulled ground ball by Keppinger, gets the run at a third. So there's a runner at third one on. Yanks have to bring the infield in. Already down 5-2.
Scoreboard update sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit them at geico.com. The 3 games that are over in the American League in 12. 7-4 victory for Toronto over Cleveland. Detroit all over Boston 10-0. Bad news there. Doug Fister has just been put on the DL with a strained intercostal on his left side. Final in L.A. at Anaheim. Kansas City beat the Angels 6-3.
Infield is up. Here is left-hand hitting Jose Lobaton, the switch hitting catcher, and the fastball is inside 1-0. They've allowed Nunez and Cano to play a couple of steps off the infield part of the turf. They both have outstanding arms. So if they get a ground ball, they can certainly come home. They have to. The Yanks down by 3. The pitch is grounded foul at home plate, and the count 1-1.
4 finals in the National League. 7-4 victory for Washington over the Cubs. Mets beat Atlanta for their second straight. 4-2 is the score there. Homers by David Wright and 2 by Lucas Duda. Milwaukee over St. Louis 6-0. Arizona beat San Francisco 5-4. Phillies and Pirates tied 1 apiece as they go to the top of the 7th. Houston now has a 5-0 lead on Colorado, bottom of the 7th in Houston.
Now here's the 1-1 to Lobaton with Scott off third. Pitch, a bloop in the infield. Cano makes the catch, and there are 2A. Kuroda hit him right on the fist. Wasn't even a pop-up, really just kind of a bloop.
In Cincinnati, Miami has taken the lead over the Reds 4-2. Miami as they go to the top of the 6th, and Dodgers and San Diego go to the 2nd. Dodgers have a 1-0 lead. Now, John, Clay Rapata is up in the Yankees' pen, which leads me to believe once again that they want to give Boone Logan and his back a little more rest, because he didn't pitch yesterday and he wasn't up, and he's not up today.
Now here's Reed Brignac, a left-hand hitter, and he just gets away from an inside pitch in the count 1-0. Well, I would say you're right.
And with the Yankees losing, you might as well let Rapata pitch.
So Rapata is getting there for Pena. Next batter is Jennings. He's a right-hand hitter. And Rapata, you have to pick your spots and make sure he pitches against lefties. Luke Scott leads off third with 2 out. And the 1-0 just missed outside, the count 2-0. Tampa has scored a run on the back-to-back doubles by Zobrist and Scott, and they have a 5-2 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Now Kuroda is set to be a 2-0, and that's foul tipped at home plate, and the count 2-1.
Well, you know, he and Rothschild are going to have to work on this. This is the first time you see it's different in spring training. It really is. You know, there's no adrenaline, and you can see now if he's not throwing strike one, he's going to get hit. And they're hitting, actually, that first pitch, which is usually near the strike zone.
The 2-1 foul third base side out of play. And the count 2-2. This pitch, this coming pitch, will be the 90th for Kuroda.
So on postgame, we'll ask Joe Girardi what he saw and what he thinks Kuroda needs to do. Get through these lineups. It's not going to get any easier.
That'll be a 2-2 to Brignac, a lefty hitter. The pitch is a broken back ground ball to first, foul. Kuroda went down. Did he get hit? I'm watching the ball. The bat broke.
I think he got down. Joe Girardi and Steve Donahue are going, I believe he got out of the way.
Well, the count remains 3-2.
Fans come out to the stadium on Saturday, April 14th and Sunday night, the 15th, for calendar weekend. All fans in attendance receive a Yankees calendar courtesy of Subway.
Once again, it'll be a 3-2 to the Tampa shortstop. There's the payoff. Low ball 4. So Brignac is on. And that is walk number 4 off Kuroda. Now, I think this is a spot, Susan, where Kuroda is not wild. He's just being too careful. And you really shouldn't be that careful with a guy who last year hit 193. Now, here's a right-hand hitter, Desmond Jennings.
And we'll ask Joe, and I'll try and get to Larry Rothschild about that, because he really does look tentative. This is not how he looked in spring training.
Runners lead first and third, 2 outs. And the pitch to Jennings is low outside. Jennings reached on an error, did score a run, has popped up and struck out. This would be the last batter for Kuroda. If he gets him out, I think they'll just pat him on the back. And if he doesn't get the batter out, you figure Rapata pitches to Pena. Jennings grounds it foul at home plate. The count 1-1. And he's thrown 95 pitches, so he wouldn't come out for the 7th.
Kuroda's next start would be scheduled, actually, John, for opening day back in New York.
Against a fairly good hitting team, the Angels. There's the 1-1. Ground ball to the right side, and it is through for a base hit. Scott scores on to third. Brignac. The throw is wide. A base hit and an RBI for Jennings, and Tampa takes a 6-2 lead.
Well, and here comes Joe Girardi. And you'd like to try and get a pitcher out on a positive note, but not tonight. This call to the bullpen is sponsored by Hyundai. Visit 2012 Sonata.
I just got 4G.
Bullpen was sponsored by AT&T 4G LTE. So here comes lefty Clay Rapata to face Carlos Pena.
Lefty to lefty, first and third, 2-out pitch. Breaking ball low. The shift is on. 3 infielders on the right side. Cano about 4 steps out on the outfield turf. 2 runs are in on the inning, and Tampa Bay has their 4-run lead back again. They have a 6-2 lead. Pena has struck out a ribby single and walked, and they pick the runner off. Teixeira goes to second. They have the runner trapped. Nunez now throws back to third, and they got him. Nice play by Nunez. A heads-up play by Nooney. So Jennings was picked off. He ran towards second. The throw went to Nunez, and he noticed that Brignac was off third, and he made a perfect throw to A-Rod to put the tag on him. So the play goes 1, 3, 6, 5. 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 left. And now the end of 6 innings of play. 6-2 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by... Martin the runner at first. That was the 4th walk given up by Price. 4 walks, 4 Ks. And the 1-2 foul down the right field line. Out of play. No, the count holds 1-2. Now Price deals, and it's foul tip. It rolled fair up the third baseline, but it was a foul tip. Maybe it hit the glove of Lobaton. So Nunez hanging in 1-2. Martin at first. There's no one out in the 7th, and the Yankees need a big-time rally. They trail 6-2.
And the Rays are going to have to make do with a closer by committee and trying to patch things together until Kyle Farnsworth gets back. He told me today it's at least 4 to 6 weeks. A tendonitis in his elbow. Has no idea how he did it or when he did it. He said it's the same thing as he had at the end of last season when he couldn't pitch towards the end of the year.
Now here's the lefties 1-2. He struck him out swing on a breaking ball. So there is 1 away.
That was a breaking pitch. That was a curveball, and he had no shot at that. And here comes Joe Madden. That'll be all for Price, and this call to the bullpen is sponsored by
Well, today's Power Report, sponsored by Indian Point Energy Center, the region's most reliable source of electric power. Yankees scored their 2 runs on singles by Grandison, Jones, a walk to Martin, and a single by Nunez. Nooney and Jones had the ribbies. And that's all the power they have shown. And the pitch to Pena is cut on and fouled back. Remember, they tried a double steal, basically a double steal, and the Yankees caught the runner, so Rapata is still out there against Pena. The real power of the game presented by Luke Scott, who singled in 2 runs in the first, singled again, and then doubled in a run in the 6th. He has 3 of the RBIs for Tampa. Pitch inside. Lone home run in the game hit by Matt Joyce. That's a Power Report sponsored by Indian Point Energy Center. Give you Price's line in a moment. There'll be a 1-1 to Pena, who has struck out, singled in a run, and walked. Lefty to lefty. Rapata deals, breaking ball outside. Now the count 2-1. Price went 6 1/3, 2 runs, 5 hits, 5 strikeouts, and 4 walks. He's on due for the win, and Kuroda, of course, on ready for the loss. It'll be a 2-1 to Pena. There is a strike with a fastball to count 2-2.
That fastball at 87. That's as high as he'll get. Fastball slider. Saw him get strikeout Pena in spring training, Scott and Pena, in the game against the Rays.
The 2-2, low outside, the count 3-2. There's no one in the Yankee bullpen. So they're going to have Rapata pitch to Longoria, then another lefty hitter in Joyce. That'll be a 3-2 to the lefty hitting Pena. And the 3-2 way outside, ball 4. So Pena is on.
Well, and Joe Girardi had said that the extra lefty in the pen was not just going to be a situational lefty. He wanted him to be able to get righties too, which is why probably Cesar Cabral was going to make the team before he broke his elbow. So Rapata is going to have to do his best against righties also.
Now he gets crushed by righties though.
Yep.
Now here's Longoria. And he hits a high drive to right. Swisher back on the track at the wall, leaping, and it's gone. It's a home run. Swisher trying to argue that a fan interfered, but Longoria goes to right field. It's a 2-run home run, and Tampa takes an 8-2 lead.
Now, Girardi is going out there to see what Swisher is arguing about. I think he's saying, as you said, John, it was a fan interfered. But Girardi's going out to talk to first base umpire Andy Fletcher.
The wall is so high, I don't see how a fan could interfere unless he leaned all the way over. Well, we'll take a look at it on our replay.
Let's see what Swisher thinks.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I see. A guy with a glove.
A fan did put his glove over the fence. He did. So they could call that a double, I guess.
Well, they're now talking about it, and very definitely this is what the replay is there for on home runs. Go look at it. That fan's glove is over that yellow line. And there they go into the to take a look at it. That's what the replay is there for. You might as well use it.
It was signaled a home run by Andy Fletcher. But, Swisher has a good point. I don't think he was going to catch the ball. But a fan did put his glove, and it looked like the glove was just over that yellow line. That's why a lot of the new ballparks have a fence within a fence so the fans can't lean over.
The glove is definitely over the yellow line, whether it's a Yankee jersey also. I don't think he could have caught it, John, but maybe it would have been off that fencing.
I would think so, too.
Yeah, it's got to go over the yellow line. into the stands. It would have been off the fence that is between the two railings.
And no question that Rapata has trouble with good right-hand hitters, and Longoria took the ball to right field, and we'll see what they call it. And we'll have to wait for the umpires to come out.
And while we're waiting, tonight's Speed Report is brought to you by AT&T 4G LTE with speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G. AT&T, rethink possible. The only speed done tonight was by the Rays. Desmond Jennings, particularly after getting on an error made by Nunez, promptly stole second base. Came in with that first run. So there's the Speed Report tonight.
We're waiting for the three umpires who are looking at the replay. The only umpire on the field is the home plate umpire, Sam Holbrook. Now, what do you think, Susan? It's either a home run or a double. Would you say that?
I think it probably is a double. It would have been off the. No, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. I don't know what it would be. It wouldn't have gone into the stands.
You know the way I look at it. Look at the right field wall. It looks like it would hit under the yellow line and hit the padding, I guess.
The fence. There's a fence between the padding and the. All right,
here they
comes
come.
The umpire, and let's see what they're doing.
It's not a home run, or they would signal.
They're saying, "Come here." Well, it's definitely not a home run, or we would have seen that immediately. Oh, they were saying to Joe Madden, "Come here." It's definitely off the fence. That's underneath the yellow line. It definitely is not a home run.
Now, if it was a home run, they would have come out twirling their fingers around to signal home run. So Pena is sent back to third.
And here comes Longoria going out to second base.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
Of course, if I was Longoria, I'd be annoyed. I just had a home run taken away from me. But there's second and third and no one out.
Left fielder, number 20.
They just showed a shot of Longoria in disgust when he saw what happened. And by the way, that Yankee fan who caught the ball, he was so excited he's just been escorted from the premises. Serves him right.
Some nerve. So second and third, no one out. Yankees bring the infield up. Here's left-hand hitting Matt Joyce. And Rapata deals a breaking ball. Throw to third. Not in time. So I wrote down home run. Silly me.
Was August 21st, 2011 versus Seattle. With Johnny Davis home run.
Now runners at second and third, no one out. As Tampa Bay tries to widen the lead, already leading 6-2 from the bottom of the seventh inning. And the pitch is low. Well, I guess with second and third, no one out, we can call this the rally moment of the game. That's sponsored by Rally BMW, located at 1 Brush Hollow Road in Westbury, or online at rallybmw.com. Rapata deals. Swung on a fly ball to shallow left. It is going to dunk in for a base hit. Both runs will score. Joyce gets a single and 2 RBIs, and Tampa takes an 8-2 lead. So Longoria lost the home run, but Tampa comes up with the 2 runs anyway on a soft single to shallow left field, and Tampa now leads it 8-2. Now remember about the rally moment of the game. BMW makes the cars, and Rally makes the difference.
And no movement by the Yankees' Joe Girardi on removing Rapata.
Now the pitch a little low to Zobrist. Zobrist turns around to bat right-handed. And the Yankees are trailing big time, 8-2. The 1-0. There is a strike by Rapata. The count 1-1. Pena walk. A disputed double by Longoria off the top of the wall. The fan did lean over. And then a soft single to left to knock in both runs by Joyce. The pitch there is a strike. And the count 1-2. So Joyce leads off first. Joyce with a home run and the single has knocked in 3. Luke Scott with a single and a double has knocked in 3, so they've knocked in 6 of the 8 runs. And there's the 1-2. Grounded foul off of third. Well, tonight, the 7th inning stretch was sponsored by the BMW 7 Series. Check one out at your local Tri-State BMW Center or at tristatebmw.com.
You know, once again, John, we're seeing how spring training means nothing. Clay Rapata didn't give up a run for most of spring training. Couple of hits.
I have never known what to take out of spring training, so I take nothing out of it. I couldn't agree more. I think it's just to get people in shape. I guess if you had a young player that's unknown or a minor league player coming up and has a great spring, I guess he could force a team to put him on the roster pitches inside. Also, you know, so many teams, the Red Sox or the Yankees or whatever, Tampa, where you could just about name the team.
Right.
There's going to be a couple of jobs open.
Well, the one guy did it, and that was Drew Smiley in Detroit.
It'll be a 2-2.
Young pitcher.
And the pitch outside the count, 3-2. And let's see if Joyce is going. Zobrist is 1 for 2 with a walk. Joyce stays put, and the pitch is inside, ball 4.
Number 30, Luke Scott.
Now here's a lefty hitter, Luke Scott, who's had a big night. Scott knocked in 2 with a base hit, hard base hit in the first. Had a hard single in the third, and a ribby double down the right field line. He's 3 for 3.
And Martin going out to talk to Rapata, who looks a little shell-shocked here.
Now runners lead first and second. With no one out, 2 runs are in. And the pitch is a strike to Scott. Joyce leads off second, and Zobrist leads off first. And the pitch is swung on, hit in the air to right field. Swisher back right in front of the track, makes the catch, fires back in. Joyce tags, goes to third. Zobrist holds at first. First and third, 1 out. And that will be all for Rapata, and the Yankees will go to their bullpen.
Corey Wade is on, try and get the last 2 outs here in the 7th. Rodriguez will be the first batter that Wade faces.
Yesterday, Rodriguez, who plays against lefties, had base hit, 1 for 2 with a couple of walks. Played short yesterday, playing second today. And he picked up Keppinger in the top of the inning. It's 8-2 Rays. We're in the bottom of the 7th. First and third, and 1 man out. Now Wade deals, and the breaking ball low outside, the count 1-0. A high pop, a mile high around short. Nunez trying to find it and goes back to make the catch. You know, that ball is hit, Susan. I'm looking up at that oatmeal covered roof, and I thought it might hit the roof. It didn't, but it came close.
Or one of those little catwalks up there. It's a very peculiar place. Corey Wade had a terrific half season for the Yankees last year. Came in June was let go by these Rays. He was in the minor leagues. He had an out on June 15th. The Rays let him out, and the Yankees got him. He was very, very big help to the Yankees last year.
He sure was.
And he was terrific.
Here's a switch inning catcher, Jose Lobaton. He is 1 for 3. Runners lead first and third, 2 out. Pitch is a breaking ball strike. Joyce is the runner at third. Zobrist is the runner at first, and Tampa has a big fat 8-2 lead. Way deals a fastball outside, and the count 1-1 on Lobaton. Now the right-hander is set, and the 1-1 grounded foul at home plate. Still the count 1-2. Well, unless the Yankees have a tremendous rally in their bones, and they're going to begin 0-2. Strike 3 on the inside corner. However, Tampa picks up 2 more runs. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 left at the end of 7. 8-2 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Pitch low 3-0. When that happened to the Yankees in the Torre era, someone say, well, what would he have done? And he said he will pitch until daylight comes.
Until daylight. And then if that failed, Louis Soho would come in.
Here's the 3-0. And it's eyeball 4, so Swisher walks on 4 straight. Well, unless the Yankees have a tremendous rally, tomorrow constitutes a very big game for Phil Hughes anyway, to see the new and improved Phil Hughes. And like Susan mentioned, he's pitching against a very good pitcher, Jeremy Hellickson. And unless the Yankees rally, they'll be looking at getting swept over the weekend. So that's a pretty good game. Our next game will be tomorrow. We'll be on the air at 1, play-by-play at 1:40. Sponsored by London Jewelers on Long Island, serving you and your family since 1926. Here is Cano, and the fastball inside, and Lukey has missed with 5 straight.
And another one, Sean says that throwing hard is not enough. He's throwing 94, 95 miles an hour. He just can't get the ball over the plate. And here comes Jim Hickey on the run. You know, John, we were just talking about how spring training, Clay Rapata had such an awful spring training. I mean, had such a great spring training and wasn't very good here. And I said to you, all spring training, Corey Wade can't get his fastball over. Look, he comes out, gets the 2 batters he faces, and goes and sits down. So it shows you on the other side that it means nothing.
Yeah, you can't take a lot out of spring training. Or maybe you can't take anything. Well, Hickey had a word or two, and Tampa Bay gets their bullpen. As I always say about this, managers in baseball and coaches in other sports, they never think they have the game won. Now Cano digs back in. He has a 1-0 count. Swisher at first. And the 1-0 there is a strike at the knees, and the count 1-1. Here's the 1-1. And the pitch inside, the count 2-1. Sometimes a young pitcher, you hear this all the time, will give too much credit to the hitters. He comes up, and he's a major league hitters, and then they try to be, basically too fine.
Righty and a lefty down the right field line in the Rays bullpen.
2-1, foul back by Cano. No, the count 2-2.
Fernando Rodney is the righty. Jake McGee is the lefty.
Now, the right-hander Lukey is set at the belt, and the pitch is fouled off by Cano. Robbie is 0 for 3 on the night.
And you know that one of the things that Hickey obviously just said to Josh Lukey is throw some of your breaking stuff, because he's throwing him an off-speed stuff, and that was a changeup. He was just coming in firing gas, trying to blow the ball by him.
Now the 2-2 way inside as Cano kind of jackknifed out of the way. So the count 3-2. Yankees trailing by 6. So I would doubt that Swisher is running. Now the right-hander at the belt. Here's the payoff. Swung on, there it goes to right field. It's going to bounce against the wall. Heading toward third is Swisher. Going to second is Cano. As Cano rips a double down the right field line. It got a short hop the wall. A little topspin on it as it sank, and the Yankees have second and third and no one out. So the Yankees are safe at second and third. Your financial future could be safe and secure with life insurance from New York Life. Contact your New York Life Insurance Company agent or visit them at NewYorkLife.com and find out more.
Fastball that was about shin high, and you know that left-handers love the ball low, but Robinson Cano is an equal opportunity hitter. He hits them high also, but that was low. He just went down and got that.
Now here's A-Rod. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Well, the Yanks have second and third and no one out here in the 8th, and they trail by 6. Pitch is way high. I think he threw a breaking ball down the bite, and the count 1-0. Hard-throwing lefty Jake McGee and hard-throwing righty Fernando Rodney in the Tampa bullpen. And the right-hander deals, swung on a high pop. Back of first, Pena in shallow right, calling and making the catch in foul territory. And there's one away. Swisher made a bluff, but he wasn't coming. So there's one away.
And Pena caught that ball, and he waved off right fielder Zobrist, who was coming a mile a minute, and he waved him off, and then turned immediately back to look at Swisher, just in case. Longoria patting McGee on the back. Not McGee, excuse me. Lukey. Lukey was slated for AAA, actually was sent down until they put Farnsworth on the DL and brought him back up. Farnsworth out 4 to 6 weeks.
He was kind of the last cut.
Yep.
Here's Teixeira. 3 infielders on the right side. And the pitch. Imagine how excited Lukey was. He said that he was just about to sign a lease for an apartment in Durham, and then he got the word. So he got in his car and drove 10 hours to Florida. Here's the 1-0 to Teixeira. Cut on him as it takes you a moment to drive to the major leagues. Takes you 3 days to
That's
go
exactly
back.
right. Exactly right.
That'll be a 1-1 to Teixeira. Swisher off third and Cano off second with 1 out in the 8th. The pitch is line foul down the right field line. Chris Stewart, the Yankees' newest catcher, said he had everything all set in San Francisco. And now, you know, when he goes to New York with the rest of the Yankees at 1 in the morning.
He's got nothing. Yeah, he's
Wednesday.
in a hotel room, right?
Yeah. That's tough. Boy, is that tough. Where are your clothes? Where's your laundry? And here's the 1-2. Swung on and line to second for the double play. Throw back to second. Easy double play. They played Sean Rodriguez out in the outfield. Teixeira hit into the teeth of the shift in a line drive to Sean Rodriguez. Cano headed toward third. He couldn't believe anyone was out there. And he was doubled easily. So the double play goes 4-6. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. Now the end of 7.5, 8-2 Tampa on the Yanks Radio Network, driven by Jeep.
You've done your...
Boone Logan up in the Yankee pen, also with right-hander David Phelps. So Logan's back must be feeling better.
It'll be a 2-0. And Brignac pops it foul third base side. If Phelps gets in, I would think that would be his major league debut.
Will indeed. Absolutely. Within about a week, David Phelps had his first child and got his first call to major league. So he had quite a week.
That is quite a week. I'm reading a book. Brignac fouls a pitch off. I'll discuss it at some point. A great book about the minor leagues. There's a guy from Yale pitching who went to the minor leagues, pitched a year in the Angel organization. The 2-2. And swung on and hit in the air to right center and deep. Swisher on the run, and he makes the catch in right center. Nice running catch, one away. But I think of this all the time when I see these players. And there's a guy on this team, the Provo Angels, and he says, I just want to get to the major leagues for one day. For just one day. It's a dream that a lot of people have, and very few people have a good resolution to their dream.
Who are we talking to on the bus who talked about 17-hour bus? Oh, David Wells.
Yes, because there's a 17-hour bus ride in this book. The pitch is a strike to Desmond Jennings. Jennings is 1 for 4. 1 out, no one on, bottom of the 8th. And Tampa has an 8-2 lead. The pitch is grounded foul. On the count 0-2. Grounded foul down the third base line.
And David Wells was a pitching instructor and pitched BP and really worked hard with the young pitchers in spring training. This was on the trip to Miami. He and John were talking.
Now here's the 0-2. Breaking ball outside, the count 1-2.
Same exact sellout crowd as last night, 34,078.
Time the Rays have sold out their first 2 home games. Also coming in 2009 when they sold out.
Here's the 1-2. Struck him out swinging. Beautiful slow breaking ball by Wade. So Wade there painting the corner. And that's sponsored by Certa Pro Painters, because painting is personal. Now two-way, and here's Pena, who is 1 for 2 and also has 2 walks. Now Pena that's had a very good start to the season. He already has 6 RBIs. There's a strike at the knees.
You know, the look of frustration on Teixeira's face. You got it. You know, you can only hit it. You can't aim it.
Yeah, we didn't discuss that. It'd be an 0-1. Inning ended. We had to go to the spots. Pitch inside. The second baseman, Sean Rodriguez, in the middle of the 3 guys, was way out on the outfield grass. And Teixeira had a line drive that, quote-unquote, a base hit. But Cano should know that because he plays the same spot. Sean Rodriguez made an easy catch and doubled up Cano easily. Pitch.
A couple of games for Carlos Pena. You know, I was talking to him before the game, John. He never wanted to leave here. They decided they didn't have enough money to re-sign him, so he went to Chicago for a year. They tried Casey Kochman. That really didn't work. Dan Johnson played there.
3-2. Struck him out swinging. So Wade has a 1-2-3, including 2 strikeouts. We played 8 at the Trop in St. Pete. Tampa has an 8-2 lead on the Yanks Radio Network, driven by Jeep.
This energy.
10-second station ID on the New York Yankees Radio Network.
Stay with your station for the Bombers and New York's best coverage, WCBS 880.
John Sterling, Susan Waldman here at the Trop in St. Pete. We go to the 9th. Curtis Grandison leads off. And the pitch low outside. The 9th inning is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Go to BuffaloWildWings.com. Find the location nearest to you. Buffalo Wild Wings. wings, beer, sports. Sounds like a nice combination. The 1-0, a high fly to deep left center field. Back goes Joyce on the track, leaps and makes the catch right at the wall. Going to third is Grandison. Did the ball hop? Let me look at the replay again.
Triple.
It's a triple for Grandison. Joyce jump. Let me see now. He and Jennings go over. Jennings can't find the ball. Joyce made a leap. Oh, that's what happened. Went over his head and kicked right back to Jennings. So it's a triple for Grandison. And here is Raul Ibanez to hit for Andrew Jones. You know, lefty-righty switch. So the left-hand hitter is Ibanez. And the pitch is high. As Jennings ran over, he put his palms up. You know, like, I don't see it. Where is it? And I thought when Joyce jumped, he made the catch, just went over his head and banged off the wall. So a triple for Grandison. And Ibanez takes a breaking ball low, and the count 2-0. Yankees are trailing 8-2. We're in the top of the ninth. Tampa, of course, with a 6-run lead, has the infield back. They want outs. They'd be glad to trade an out for a run. Now, the right-hander will deal 2-0 to Ibanez. And there's a strike at the knees. Ibanez, of course, yesterday had the 3-run home run that gave the Yankees the lead. He also had a ground ball that knocked in a run. Oh, he is 1 for 5, but he knocked in 4 of the Yankees' 6 runs. Here is the 2-1. A breaking ball is low from Lukey in the count 3-1. Now, the right-hander Lukey is staring in for the sign from Lobaton. Grandison leads off third. And there's a strike at the knees. A fastball clocked at 91. The count 3-2. There'll be a 3-2 to Ibanez. And the pitch swung on and driven to center field. Jennings cuts over to make the catch. Grandison tags and scores a sac fly. An RBI for Ibanez, and the Yankees trail 8-3. Well, here's Russell Martin. With 1 out and the bases are empty. Martin is 0 for 1, but has drawn 2 walks tonight. Well, the Yankees taking it on the chin, 8-3. And Martin takes a pitch low on the count 1-0. Eric Chavez comes out on deck to hit for Nunez. Another lefty-righty switch. And here's the 1-0. That pitch is low on the count 2-0. The 2-0, and Martin takes low 3-0. And you know the Tampa Bay is going to start their bullpen. They're 2 outs away from the win. There'll be a 3-0 to Martin. And the right-hander Lukey deals. There's a strike. And the count 3-1. The closer, now that Farnsworth is in dry dock, Joel Peralta is up in the Tampa Bay bullpen. Here's a 3-1 to Martin. And it's slow, so Martin walks for the third time tonight. Lukey's second walk and the sixth by Tampa Bay pitcher. And here's Eric Chavez to pinch hit. And here comes Jim Hickey on the trot to the mound. So this gives Peralta a little more chance to warm up and be ready if Lukey can't close the deal. Tampa took a 4-0 lead with 2 in the first. Luke Scott had a 2-run base hit. And single runs in the second and third. Yankees try to scramble back in the game. They scored 2 in the fourth. Well, that's their last run till the ninth inning. The triple by Grandison. And the sac fly. So Hickey goes back to the dugout. Lukey goes back to the rubber. And Chavez steps in. A lefty hitter with Martin at first and 1 out. Here in the top of the ninth, 8-3 Tampa. And the right-hander deals inside to Chavez. Kind of squirms out of the way, and the count 1-0. Here's the 1-0. There's a breaking ball strike, and the count 1-1. Now the right-handed Lukey is set. And the pitch is lined to right field. There's a base hit. So Martin goes to second and holds on. Chavez comes through with a base hit. Now that'll bring up the top of the order and Derek Jeter. Chavez able to get, now look at the replay again, able to get on top of a high fastball. And he lined it to right. So Pena comes over. Lobaton comes out to chat with Lukey as Peralta getting ready in the bullpen. And you know what? They wasted enough time for the hat to be raised out of the bullpen. And here comes Joe Madden. This call to the bullpen sponsored by Hyundai. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today and check out the 2012 Sonata.
You've done your best to prepare your kid.
Here's Joe Peralta. He pitched the third of an inning yesterday. Everybody pitched yesterday. Here's Jeter. The Yanks have runs at first and second, a run in. They do trail 8-3. So here is Peralta, who is the nominal closer with Farnsworth on the DL. Jeter's 2 for 4. Runners lead first and second, and Jeter takes outside, and the count 1-0. You know, you always hear slumping teams say, well, you know, everyone's trying to hit the 5-run home run. That's what the Yankees need. They trail by 5, 8-3. Now, the right-hander, Peralta, will deal 1-0. Swung on a high pop foul off first. Pena gives it a look, and it's about 3 rows back. So the count 1-1. In the Tampa bullpen, the lefty Jake McGee and the righty Fernando Rodney, they were up earlier. So, in effect, actually not in effect. So the Yankees need one more base runner to send up the tying run. No, it's 8-3. No, John, that would be 1 run less. So they need 2 men on base. Peralta will deal 1-1 to Jeter. And he fouls it straight back to count 1-2. Martin, the runner at second. And Chavez, the runner at first. And Jeter behind on the count 1-2. I mentioned this earlier about omens. In 2009, Sabathia and Burnett new to the team, and the Yanks opened in Baltimore, and they got murdered. And the Yanks were 0-2, and they went on, obviously, at the end of the year to win the World Series. So if you're looking for omens, that'll be a 1-2 to Jeter. And the right-hander cut and missed. High fastball, and Jeter cut on it, missed. Well, there's the second out. And here is Swisher, who is 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Now Swisher digging in against the right-hander Peralta. Nick batting from the left side, of course. First and second, 2 men out. And the right-hander Peralta deals low outside, 1-0. Runners lead. Pitch. Swung on a high drive to deep right field. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Swisher hit the ball almost to the last row of the right field bleachers. A 3-run home run for Swisher. He's positively Swishalicious. He hits a 3-run blast, and the Yankees trail 8-6. So here comes Joe Madden, and he goes to the bullpen again. And this call to the bullpen sponsored by 877 Cars. McGee throws awfully hard. And the left-hander is set. About chest high, the 1-1. Caught on a miss. He threw it by him. All season long, when the Yankees score 6 or more runs and win, Papa John's will offer 50% off regular menu prices at papajohns.com all day tomorrow. Use promo code Yankees6. Right now, the Yankees within a strike of losing. It'll be a 1-2 to Cano. He steps out for a moment. Yankees have one little hope, and that is Cano gets on, and then A-Rod hits one. Now, the left-hander, McGee, is set. And the pitch high outside. That was at 96. Well, the count 2-2 on Robbie. And the lefty Jake McGee deals low 3-2. Now, ball 4 would give the Yankees a chance. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the ninth, Tampa with an 8-6 lead. The Yankees have scored 4 in the inning. That'll be a payoff pitch to Cano, and McGee deals, swung on, foul back. That time McGee threw a fastball right down the pipe. He took a little off, make sure he threw a strike. That was on the board, clocked at 92. And Cano got a piece to stay alive. Now once again, McKee, 1 foot on the rubber, bending over, looking in for the sign from Lobaton. Now he is set to go. It'll be a 3-2 to Cano. The pitch is low, ball 4. The Yankees have their one chance. And here comes that man again. Joe Madden going to be in great shape. The games continue like this. The call to the bullpen is sponsored by Hyundai. Visit your local Hyundai. Fernando Rodney got the win yesterday. Pitched an inning, pitched the 9th. He was the pitcher of record when Tampa Bay won the game. Now he comes in with an 8-6 lead. Cano, the runner at first. There is A-Rod. Alex 0 for 3 with a walk. So, as A-Rod approaches the plate, he is the tying run. A-Rod had spent the time with Rodney warming up over by the Yankee dugout talking to Kevin Long. They had the book open on Rodney. He's seen Rodney before. So here's the right-hander Fernando Rodney. The Yankees have scored 4 in the 9th to come from 8-2 to 8-6. They overshift. A-Rod has to be swinging for the fence. 3 infielders on the left side. A ground ball toward the middle. Fielded by Rodriguez. Throws to first in time. Ball game over. Tampa wins. So Tampa takes the first 2 games of the series. And they'll go for the series sweep tomorrow. Final score tonight, the Rays 8, the Yankees 6. We're back in a moment here at the Trop, here on the New York Yankees Radio Network, driven by Jeep. Well, tonight the Yankees hit 1 home run, brings their season total to 2. Ironically, both have been 3-run home runs, one by Ibanez yesterday, one by Swisher today. For every home run the Yankees hit this year, your local Hyundai dealers donate $100 to the Hope and Heroes Foundation. The season total stands at $200. Here are the totals in tonight's game. For the Yanks, 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error, they left 7. For Tampa Bay, 8 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, they left 6. Kuroda is the loser. He's 0-1. Price is the winner. He's 1-0. And Fernando Rodney on 1 pitch gets the save, his first. The game took 3 hours and 20 minutes and drew another sellout, 34,078. And once again, the final score from Tropicana, Tampa Bay 8 and the Yankees 6. New York Yankees baseball is a production of WCBS News Radio 880 and the New York Yankees. Studio operations by Chris Roush.